Twin Tower bombing that happened in America on the 11th of September 2001. When he made that prophecy in 1979 in this room, he wanted to be on the safer side. He didn't want to mention the country, but he prepared to mention the race. He said, somewhere over the seas, in one of the most powerful, developing, and a rich country, there will be a distraction whereby the Arabs will use an aircraft to revolt against that country. And the leader of that team will be groomed by a special force of that country. That says that man will be a product of that country.
Is this the original?
This is the original one.
He made?
In 1979.
1979.
This one, the planes are approaching. The second version that he did, it was 20 years later in 1999. This time, the aircraft have hit the building are falling down. Those are the original Twin Towers. That's an aircraft approaching the Twin Towers.
So in 1979 he made the prophecy about the Twin Tower.
Yes. Then in 1999 he made a follow-up painting.
He made a follow-up.
Yes, got another follow-up painting. If you go back to Google Credo Mutwa, Google under predictions, you'll see this painting and the other painting.
And the follow-up in 1999.
1999, 20 years later.
Yeah, because the Twin Tower bomb explosion was in 2001.
3 years down the line after the second painting, it happened.
Okay.
Yes. That's an aircraft approaching the Twin Towers.
Okay.
If we look at the sun is in the dawn, it's in the morning, it says the time. He said wherever and whenever it's going to happen in the morning.
It's going to happen in the morning.
When America was attacked, it was in the morning. These bad man cars, they were introduced to us, the South Africans, for the first time in the year 2001 as the racing cars. These are the models that we saw in our Tell a Lie Beijing TV running away from the Twin Towers, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Subaru, and the Aston Martins. And this is the DS Roosevelt Drive Bridge. It's a circle of life that says what goes around must come around. And the dark cloud says when days are dark, friends are few. After the 11th of September, nobody wanted to go to America. Americans were on their own. Even the best friends, the British, were scared to go there. To show that we're speaking about America, original in American flag, the document, example, the passport and the currency, the dollar, we find the American flag. The calabash, that's the calabash. You see that example? This is a calabash. This is a calabash. Let me example of this. It's a calabash.
Yeah.
African pot.
African pot,
It's very much important in our culture, in African community. Whatever ceremony or ritual that is happening in African family, look at use this. The World Cup Stadium, Soccer City, during the World Cup Stadium in South Africa 2010, the design is made out of a calabash. That says the world was coming back to the motherland, to their mother, to absorb positive energies again and regain strength and go back again to their countries because of already they managed to acquire powerful strength from the mother herself.
When Credo Mutwa painted this one, was it the time that he was painting it that the prophecy came to his head, or was the prophecy already in his head before he started painting it?
The first person who did the prophecy was
Maragete, in Zimbabwe.
Yes. Then Credo Mutwa was the second.
And he was the second.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maraghetti spoke about it, or he painted it?
Palangeti wrote it. I think, no, he painted it too.
He painted it
yes.
too.
Then Credo Mutwa was inspired, then he did this too.
And Palangeti was what was he?
Palangeti was the one who was supposed to be president of Zimbabwe.
He was supposed to be president. And he was a prophet too.
By Joshua Nkomo, because of Mugabe was raised by Nkomo, was a favorite to Joshua Nkomo.
And so he was a prophet too.
Yes. To become a king,
yeah,
you need to be a prophet.
Okay.
You have to see things. Before you have to see the future as a king. That says you have to be a prophet. Yeah. You have to have those powers. It doesn't that the kings that we are having right now in Africa, especially in South Africa, are not the real kings.
Yeah.
They don't deserve to be the kings. Those are the kings that were created by the system.
Oh, you mean the traditional kings now? Or
yeah.
The traditional kings now, they were created by the system?
Yeah, that we have.
Okay.
Were created by the European system.
Yeah. Like when you were talking about the Zulu king and...
Yes, the British are the ones.
Yeah, we see it all over the continents. Yes. They don't want... they always want to place somebody there instead of the real ones.
So those are not the real kings.
Yeah.
They will make the kings so that they can destroy and dilute our culture right at the first hand.
Yeah.
That is why they will always report to England.
Exactly.
The red paint is the blood.
It's the blood.
Yes. The water says over the seas of Africa. And the sky represents the man who attacked the Americans. Osama bin Laden was an Arab. In 2012, the Americans, they questioned the former President Barack Obama's office and said, hey, Mr. President, you said you killed bin Laden. Where's the body? Let's see the body is the proof. The answer was, the body was thrown, the body was buried into the ocean. That's the signature. Credo Mutwa 1979. In 1979, when America was fighting with Afghanistan, Osama bin Laden was working for CIA. He is their product. And then when the Twin Tower bomb was about to happen, his family was driven out of America. Before the Twin Tower was happening. In 2013, we had an offer from the White House offering Credo Mutwa $8 million to buy the painting. Unfortunately, he refused to sell his paintings because of all his paintings are priceless.
Yeah.
When he spoke about this, they said, just an old, useless, stupid, superstitious old man who doesn't know what he's speaking about. But now they come with big cameras, big things, wanting to know more about the paintings, what else they knew about it.
Who was it you said that wanted to buy the paintings?
The White House.
The White House wanted to buy these paintings. This one and other ones?
Oh, this one.
Only this one. This one. Okay.
And they refused. There's a hand.
With blood in it?
Yeah, with blood in it. The red mark. He was attacked in 1976.
Credo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 September.
When they burned his house?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yes, by the student of Soweto.
By the children of Soweto?
Yeah, by the student of Soweto. By the student.
Yeah,
the students. In 1976, 2016, they came to the space, to this village. They never found him. They torched the village. Killed a woman by the name of Adida Moeng, who was a traditional healer who used to work with Credo Mutwa, but on the Soto side. The
Soto?
Yes. We have the Nguni clan. In South Africa, we have 2 clans.
Yeah.
We have the Nguni clan and the Basotho clan. Under those 2 clans, you find 9 traditional languages.
Yeah. And because your name Lebo, that's a Soto name, right?
Yes, in full it's Lebogang.
Yeah, I went to school with that person his name was Lebogang Matenge.
Oh, Lebogang Matenge?
Yeah, he died, but he was, I didn't know where he was from at that time. But, yeah.
And you should understand, it's not only Lebogang, it's Lebogang Tsentle.
Yeah.
Appreciate good things. Appreciate beautiful things.
Okay.
That is the meaning of the name.
Yeah, because the guy I went to school with, first his name was Melvin, and then he changed his name to Lebogang.
Oh, he was using the silver name first.
The Christian name maybe first, and then
we call it a silver name.
Yeah, slavery name, exactly. And then he got initiated maybe, or I don't know how it works.
No, because of during the times of apartheid, you wouldn't be allocated or accepted in a school if they have a baptism name.
Yeah, so you would not be accepted with your name in the school. You need to have a slavery name to be accepted.
I'm using only Lebogang.
Yeah.
In everything that I do. When I went to school, it was a problem. My grandmother decided to give me just a name and said Emmanuel, so that I can get an access to the school. But I had to change my Emmanuel into Stevie because I like the name Stevie. But I used it until standard 5. Then from standard 6, I went back to Lebogang.
Okay.
Which it was never there in my papers, by the way, Stevie. Because I was never baptized.
Okay.
They attacked the village and they never found him. That is when on the 8th of September they went to his house. That is where they molested his children.
I heard.
Molested and raped his wife. They killed his firstborn son Pegimosi by necklacing him. And then they stoned him nearly to death. He was held by Zenzi Mandela.
Zenzi Mandela, that is
The
daughter
of
Mandela.
Okay. Who was an initiate to Credo Mutwa.
Also, so she was in Ubungoma, or?
Yes, she was initiated by Credo Mutwa.
And what about Nelson Mandela? Was he initiated too?
Nelson Mandela claimed that he's from the royal family.
He's from the royal family. Like, you mean the Kosa royal family? But he was not dealing with tradition.
No, Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
No, he was a traditional man.
He was a traditional man.
The one that went to prison.
Yeah.
Nelson Mandela that went to prison.
Yeah.
Was a traditional man.
Yeah.
The one that came out of prison
was not a traditional man.
Was a traditional man.
He was with the Pope.
Yeah, he was with the Pope.
Yeah.
And then the one that went to prison was so radical.
Yeah.
The one that came out of prison was so humble.
Yeah. Was on the western side. Yeah. So, but his daughter then decided to become back to the traditions.
Yes. And then, remember, Valen was in prison.
Yeah.
Yes. And he was only when he was busy raising the children. Yes. So he stopped the children for partaking Credo Mutwa. Unfortunately, he was paralyzed on the right hand side. That is why the mark. It's on the right hand side.
Yeah.
So he had to start using the left hand side to do certain things. So it is a message that goes to the world. It says, as an ordinary person, what you do on the left hand side, you must be able to do it on the right hand side. You got to balance the equation. If you are an artist, you carry a special gene in this universe. Your duty and your responsibility as an artist is to carry the light of the generations and the generations that are coming after you so they can prosper. That is the one who are shining their light. If you stop your art while living in this world, you've destroyed the future of the coming generations. You got to do your art until the last days of your life in this world. That is the
So these students, why did they attack him?
In 1975, December, Credo Mutwa was called to come and speak in a commission in Pretoria. In the commission, he requested that the journalists, all the journalists, they don't have to be there, so they cannot compromise the situation. In the commission, he had the visions. Then he said to them, hey, before put anything to start, he said, hey guys, I've got a vision. In my vision, women of Soweto are foreseeing the fire and they smell smoke. And the children of Soweto are revolting towards the language Afrikaans as the medium language at school. And I see that's a turning point of the apartheid. But a turning point of a black child in Soweto, in South Africa. They couldn't believe in him. 6 months down the line, Soweto was never the same. There was fire, smoke, children fought against the language Africans, and it was the turning point of the politics in South Africa. But the journalist misrepresented Credo. They changed his statement. They said that he said the children of Soweto are a big problem in the township. Let the police come at least into Soweto. At least every day, in a day, they should kill 10 kids. In the 1 day, how many children? 311 kids. And remember, his children were part of those children. How can you say so? They never liked the statement. They thought Credo was a traitor. And I remember, only white people who were allowed to enter the space and to come to the casual village and learn about the ways of life. Because the black people were never allowed to enter here. In the base's own space, they never liked the statement. When the Black Power began, some of the children came here. They never found him, toured the village, killed a woman by the name of Alida Moyem. September 8th, they went to his house. That is where everything happened. That is when later on, he made a prophecy about the Twin Tower.
Why is it a gecko and a fish?
A fish, the symbol of good life.
Good life.
The gecko, the symbol of peace. The flower brings love. Remember, it's a peace moon.
So this is the main shrine of this place. It's still active.
I'm the one now.
You're the caretaker.
I'm the one now who lives here.
Okay. And the lion, the woman sitting on the lion, as you said, represents the power of the woman.
The strength and the power of women.
And here we have a...
That's a bird of peace. It's written, fear the peace.
Okay, bird of peace.
And behind those boxes that you see there, behind, it's the village. It's a mobile village.
Mobile village.
So whenever I go and do my stories to school kids.
You bring it along.
Yeah.
You travel a lot?
Look in the school kids. Now we are in this room.
Now we are in this room,
That's where we are.
Okay. Beautiful.
And from there we're going to do the prayer. Have you been to Inzalo? Have you been to Inzalo?
Inzalo?
Yeah.
No, where is that?
It's in Mpumalanga.
No, I just arrived. I'm going to Mpumalanga. But I'm going to Siabuswa, those areas. Yeah.
But I don't think it's by the other side. Ask them to go and take you to...
Where's the place you told me now?
In Zalela. It's in... What is this? When I forget, but it's in Mpumalanga. That is where Credo Mutwa was initiated.
Okay.
whether every 21st, in fact, only every 21st September, remember as Africans, we celebrate our New Year.
Okay.
Yeah, where the sun rises, they celebrate the sun, the new birth of the sun. So, in Zalwelanga, that is where we all go and celebrate our New Year.
Every year.
They call it the Alam's calendar.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Michael Challenger.
Yeah.
You read about Michael Challenger.
Yeah, I heard. Saw some of his videos.
Yeah, he is telling. Remember, Credo Mutwa was the one trying to go. Then he was writing bullshit about it.
Yeah.
So original is in Zalwelanga.
Yeah.
So if we're in Pumalang, when I send you the PDFs, I will send you the contact of Chipirwa.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who has, especially people who has to know more about about Credo Mutwa.
Is it far from here?
It's in Pumalanga.
Yeah, but Pumalanga, like,
Another province.
you know Mapok? Mapok.
Approximately.
Like Siabuswa. What is this place called? Okay, if you just write me the name, I'm going to check the where it is to see if I can make it there.
Yeah, but I think you'll make it.
Yeah, they have buses going there?
Yeah, but when
Like-
we going by pass, but I said.
No, I'm planned because my wife is coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we're going to take Uber to somewhere close to Mpumalanga. And from there we're going to use buses and then go to Swatini. And then go back to Johannesburg.
Nah.
So...
yeah, there are passes that takes you to this. It's very easy. Just you have to go there. If you follow Credo Mutwa's teachings,
yeah,
you got to go there.
I have to go there. I will make it. I will just find the name of the place. I will find how to go there.
Yeah. We call this area Kwakaya Lenda.
Kwakaya Lendau.
Yes, which means home of the story.
Home of the story.
Yes. Indaba, my children, it means the stories, my children. Indaba means the story. This is where African rituals are performed even today. Yeah. African stories are told even today. One of the greatest teachings that you find here it is how Africans used to connect before missionaries came into Africa. Africa as the motherland, as the land of the ancestors. People who lived here in Africa anciently never ever believed that the Creator created Adam as the first man, as the first human being to live in this nature. Then later he introduced Eve, the woman, as the second person to live in this earth. To them was a fairy tale. Whereas Africans knew that the first person to live in this earth was the mother, Ma, a woman. Why the mother? Because a woman is the only person that experiences a thin line between life and death. She stays 9 months being pregnant. When she gives birth, it's either she will survive or she will die. The origin of a man, the origin of a human being, it's in between the thighs of a woman, not the man. That is why African houses, African huts are in a round shape. They are built by the women, not the men. When they build it, they build a family womb. They represent the womb, the family womb. As a child, you grow under the womb of a family until you become strong and be ready to descend out and challenge life and test whatever the things that you got there, they make you strong. If things are difficult, you gotta come back to the family womb and regain strength. Africans, when they prayed, they never said, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. First thing first, they start with the mother. In the name of the mother, the father, not the son, but the child, you are heavy on your shoulder. The ankh itself, that's our ankh. The mother, the father, and the child.
Yeah.
Why the child? Because as a human being, when you were born, you were never born alone. You were born with a gift of a child inside of you. The one that's going to love you unconditionally, protect you, share each and every second and every moment with you. Remember, any human being in this earth, as long as a human being has the power and the ability to betray and destroy you, not the child inside of you. When the mother gives birth, we don't know whether it's going to be a boy or it's going to be a girl. That is why we say the child. That is why we regard the royal family as the children. Because we regard to be pure, honest, just like the child.
So the child is represented by the bird.
Yes.
What kind of bird is this?
It's half eagle.
Yeah.
And half human being.
Yeah.
The leg is a leg of an eagle, and the land. We say umulenze munye.
Yeah. Because in the Kemetic cosmology, they also have the sun represented by the bird Heru.
Haru, yes.
So, yeah.
In the Kemet in the Kemet land, I am Osa. Because I was born in the month of Libra.
Yeah.
Osa.
So you also follow the Kemetic calendar?
I won't say I follow the Kemet calendar. I would say I live the Kemet calendar.
Yeah.
But when we speak about Kemet,
Yeah.
original Kemet, it's South Africa.
Yeah.
Not the one that speak about Egypt.
Yeah.
It starts from KwaZulu-Natal and let's keep growing. That is why when you go to Mpumalanga, the oldest pyramids are found here in South Africa, in Mpumalanga. Still true. 15,000 meters apart. They tried to destroy them. They couldn't. The biggest ankh, you find it in KwaZulu-Natal.
Okay.
When you go to Mpumalanga, we say that is where you will experience that really South Africa is the Kemet. That is why in South Africa, you see these are the symbols. It's a language of the symbols that they used to call it Isipa. The language of the people. This language, it's older than hieroglyphics.
And I saw that in Soweto lands you also have a lot of Kemetic symbolism and culture.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
The father has 4 different faces.
Yeah.
That space is the 4 cardinal points of the earth. That represents the 4 rays that lives in this earth. Blacks, white, yellow, and the red. The mixed breed comes from the 4 races. That is why a human skull. We can fight and brag upon our melanin or our races, but once we remove the skins, we are the same. The children of one mother, which is an African woman. It has been proven scientifically that only African women can give birth to all the races in this world. That says in this world, there is only one race, which is a human race.
And the mother of all human is Ma.
It's Ma, more than anything. That is why Ma is very much important in everything that we do.
So inside this space, Sangomas are dancing?
Yeah, this will perform rituals, will be dancing here.
Yeah.
Slaughtering whatever animal that's going to be slaughtered. If it's a sheep, it's going to be slaughtered here. If it's a goat, it's going to be slaughtered here and taken that table stone. Some parts of that are going to be used will be taken outside. And some bones that are needed. Everybody will have to eat inside of here. Nobody should supposed to go outside. You got to finish the food inside here. If they don't finish, they get burned.
So does it happen that Credo Mutwa come down and possess somebody in the ceremony?
It does happen.
It does happen.
It does happen. Sometimes visitors will come here, telling them the stories, or some, before they enter, they start.
They do what?
They start feeling the spirits.
Ah, yeah.
They start going to trance.
Okay. Just for entering the place.
Yes. Because of when you enter, you could tell that there are spirits that are connected in the spiritual life.
And you said there's a river going beneath here?
It was a stream of river going down. That is why we have what you call it, a spring water. What do you call it? The one that you use the cable to pull it down.
To pull down.
Yeah, we have that.
A well. It's a well.
Yeah, we have a well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's proposed.
But there are spirits in this river.
Yeah.
That.
Those are spirits. They will always be there. Remember, the number one, the first source in this world is water. Water is life. You cannot do anything without water. That is why the spirits of the water are very much powerful. On this side, there is a page. In Africa, there were pages that used to talk. Those were the pages that were used by the elders to send messages to other villages. They would send the talking page and play the drums. If there were firstborn children who were born in the very same day in the village, the children will be collected together at once and be taken to the gods of the talking page and be named by the gods. That is why, as African people, even today, our African names are very much important to us. We live upon our names. They've got a meaning and a directions. The round ball and the crown shows the powerful energies that we absorb in this universe using the crown. The two animals on the chest, they show the strength, the intelligence, the beauty, and the power of the nature itself. The mother is carrying a spear, the first weapon which was given to an African man to protect the motherland. She's got 4 eyes, the original 2. You can see the third one on the chest.
Yeah.
The first one is behind the girl. That's the first one. It is for her, as the mother nature, to look and take care of her nature, since she is the one who gave birth to the nature.
Yeah.
That is why in the families, the mothers are the ones who are taking care of the children. The mothers are the ones who teach the children how to talk, how to walk, how to respect and be responsible. The responsibility of the father is to bring identity and discipline to the children.
And if the mother is not doing her responsibility good and is destroying her, can you bring another woman to help out, or what do you do?
There's always an aunt.
Yeah. So it is an option to bring another one.
The most important person to your child, or into your child, it's not you. It is your sister, the aunt of your child.
Yes.
Because she is the one who carries the keys, who carries the everything for the child.
Yeah.
On the mother's side, the mother is not important that much. The uncle is the one who's important.
Okay, so if you marry a woman and you see the woman is doing very bad with the children, you should bring another woman to help out.
It's all about saving the children.
Yeah.
Having a better future for the children.
Yeah. Sure.
The 4 breasts, 1, 2. The third one is on the heart chakra. And the first one is Sakpadel on the leg.
Yeah.
That is where we suck divine love, integrity, humanity, and good life itself. In Africa, we say, whenever a child is born, it doesn't have the brain. For it to have the brain, that is when it has to be breastfed by its mother. That is why behind a powerful president, powerful king, strong, powerful family, you find the breast of a strong, powerful woman.
Yeah.
In Africa, we say, whenever a child is born, it doesn't have the brain. For each of the brain, that is when it has to be breastfeeded by its mother. There are two boys who are sitting on top of a lap. You see the boys are fighting. They fight over a penis. It's got a big penis.
Yeah.
And it's got a small penis.
Okay.
The teaching that you get here is, as the people of the universe, we should stop fighting over small things.
Yeah.
We always focus on the negative than on the positive. Today, we worship and praise material more than anything else in this world and forget about the importance of a human being. That material brings what? Hatred, jealousy, separation, envy, lust, and the killing towards our nations, towards our families. That is why he introduced the girl. Her name is Lerato in Sesotho.
Lerato.
Yes. In Sizulu, Unolitando, which means love. She says, guys, come on, let's stop all the hatred. Let's stop fighting over small things. Let's come together and embrace each other and make this earth a better, powerful place. In the name of the mother, the father, not the son, but the child. Remember, your body is just a container, a vessel that protects the inner, humble child inside of you.
And this sculpture was made in 1980.
79, 80, 81.
Okay. How long would he use to make one sculpture like this?
It depends. Some take 6 months.
Yeah.
Others, because of his doing other things, it will take.
Yeah. You do it once in a while, work on it.
Work this one, leave this one.
Yeah.
Then focus to this one, leave that one, come back again.
Because Credo Mutwa had a lot of apprentices, or a lot of people that he was initiating, right?
You people are full of lies, my brother.
Yeah.
People are full of lies, especially in the social media. They claim that they were initiated by Credo. There's no such. Most of them, they know Credo through documents and reading the books.
Yeah.
They never met him.
They never met him.
No.
But they claim they were initiated by him. And they were not initiated at all? Not even by other Sangomas?
Well, probably those who were initiated by Credo Mutwa, because of Credo Mutwa, those who were... The last time Credo Mutwa initiated was in 1943.
Okay. 1943. So he was not into initiating people.
Yeah, those that he was working with, the women, are the ones who would initiate. He will just give instructions.
Okay, the women would initiate.
Yes, and few men will be there, but he will just give his instructions.
Okay.
Because of now, he was a shaman. As a shaman, you cannot initiate.
A Sanusi.
Now you are bigger. Now you give advices and direction.
Okay, so that's the difference between the Sangoma and the Sanusi. The Sanusi will not be doing the same like the Gubela.
Like the Sangoma.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because of your duties as Sanusi, you focus on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Not only the family, you speak about the universe.
Yeah.
For your duty is to focus in healing and making sure that you are the eye of the universe.
And there's no Sanusis left now?
Those that are around, they claim that they are Sanusis. It's not easy to become a Sanusi, Papa.
Yeah.
It's not an easy journey.
And these days it's very hard.
It's very hard, but now people...
Too much corruption.
So people now, they shower themselves, they put their epilepsy, they call themselves, they inaugurate themselves.
Yeah.
That says, I'm a shaman.
Yeah.
I'm a Sanusi. It's not easy to be a Sanusi.
I guess in the old days when people were more focused, there would be more Sanusis than there is now.
How? today's traditional leaders, they eat cheese, they eat dairy products, they eat the McDonald's.
Yeah.
Then you expect them that things have changed. Now it's a fashion that you see in terms of the traditional leaders. Yes, we have those who definitely, but others is just a passion to them. African spirituality. There's no African spirituality. There is a spirituality, a way of life.
There's a spirituality that has been very well kept on this continent. You know me, even my family, I'm from a tribe called the Sami. Up in the north there, like the Native Americans.
Oh.
Yeah, my great-grandfather was a big medicine man there too. But we don't have many left now. Things have changed a lot.
So if we come from the Native Americans, then you are the cousins of the Africans. That is why even in the Native Americans, let's take the Hopi clan.
Yeah.
They call her Hanumanun.
Oh, this one.
That's Hanumanun.
Hanumanun for the
They start with say Hanumanun.
Okay.
The mother herself, Unomkubu Luane. In Sizo.
That means big something.
Unomkubu Luane means the mother nature, the mother earth.
Yeah.
The Shijambo.
Shijambo.
Shijambo. Angel of God.
Yeah. So did Credo Mutwa, he went and visited the Hopis, right?
Yeah.
Did they came here too?
It was an exchange thing.
Yeah.
Others came, I think that was 2-3 years ago. They spent the time with Nozipo. 2 years ago, Nozipo is the daughter of Credo Mutwa.
She's the daughter of Credo Mutwa.
Yeah, she's the daughter of Credo Mutwa. Now she's native to Sangoma.
She's a Sangoma?
Yeah.
And she lives around here?
And Credo Mutwa's house.
Here in Soweto?
Yeah.
Okay. So did many of his children become Sangomas?
No, it's only 2 who became Sangomas. The one who was supposed to take from Credo Mutwa was the one who was killed in 1976.
In the attack?
Yeah, in the attack. Who was necased by the student. Then, Nandi, Credo Mutwa had 7 children. 5 boys, 2 girls. Nandi, the last born of the girls, the second last born. She wanted to initiate. It was never easy. Coming back, when Credo Mutwa was told that she had the callings, Credo Mutwa beat her like nobody, said that no one in my family will take the journey. But unfortunately, he managed to take the journey, but he had to burn his shrine. He passed on in 2010, knocked by the car in a car accident. Now Nozipo is the one who's taking over. But the elder said, no one in my family.
He didn't want his children to become
Yeah,
Sangomas.
but I'm it now because of my father. Yeah, my father was a high priest. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna, even though I'm not supposed there, I have to go there because of I know I will benefit from that.
Yeah.
The pyramids is to show that the greatest pyramids are found in South Africa. The one that I was telling you about.
Yeah, in Mpumalanga.
Yeah, in Africa we have 2 types of pyramids. We have the Taj pyramid. This one. That's as a traditional hospital.
Yeah.
Only the caliber of Credo Mutwa, the shamans, were allowed to use a pyramid
Okay.
as a traditional hospital.
Okay.
The mud ones were used as the graves for the royal families, or those who bore the important part in the village.
Mud pyramids.
Yes.
Okay, so those were mud structures built like pyramids.
Those are the graves.
So those, I guess, those were before the pyramids in Giza
Yeah,
and stuff.
these were, those were. And so I said that when you speak, the oldest tree, I mean, those that you find there, and this ones are the oldest because of this is the first structure before those ones.
Yeah, sure.
And the sculptures, they show that Africa is the land of the gods. We don't believe in one god.
Yeah,
We
so these are
believe in
gods.
different gods. There's god of water. There's god of death. There's god of fire. There's god of celebration. There's god of happiness. There's god of whatever. All these serve as the HODs.
God of everything.
Yes, they come together and report to this thing that we don't know whether it's a human being or what. We just say it's a thing. That is why when the child is born, you say, start by referring to the name. It is a girl. It's a girl. It's a boy. It's a dog. It's a cat. It's a tree. When you say it's, you refer to the creator. That we don't know whether it's a human being, or it's a tree, or it's something that we don't know. That is why when we pray, when we're just saying that, oh God, my Lord, Papa, initially, you don't speak to the God. You speak to your inner being. You speak to your inner child, which is the one that represents this thing that we don't know. Because we don't know what is happening inside of you. You cannot determine the color of a child inside of you. Africa is the land of the ancestors. We are the children of the nature and the student of the nature. We are not bigger than the nature. We were taught to learn from the nature and work hand in hand with the nature. That is why, as Africans, we use the nature to identify ourselves as the totems. As a tortoise, to us Africans, it's a symbol of patience. Just from here to the door, it will take it 15 years. Storms, rains, hard things, it always takes its moment until it reaches the destinations. That says we learn patience from the tortoise. That says we are the student of the nature. That is the arrival of the virus HIV and AIDS in this world.
The arrival of HIV virus.
Yes. Credo Mutwa had a vision about it in 1979.
And the virus arrived in
America, it was in 1982 when they created it.
Yeah.
In 1983, it was introduced to the European Union.
Yeah.
So they can fund it. In 1985, it was brought in South Africa to destroy and limit our generation. It didn't have the name. 8990, it was given the name and said HIV and AIDS. The virus has affected the world. He said, in the next coming years, the people of this world will be infected and affected by the deadly disease, but by an incurable deadly disease. But African continent, it is the one that's going to be mainly affected and infected. Reason being, America and Europe will be using Africa as a testing and a dumping ground. Yes, there will be a medicine for this virus, but that medicine won't kill the virus. It will tame the virus. The only time the people of this world can get that medicine, it is when traditional doctors and modern doctors can come together and work in the laboratory. Today they work together. That is why we have the antiretroviral viruses, ARVs. That doesn't kill the virus, they tame the virus. It's a discussion about it.
And who is this guy talking about?
That's the medicine man.
This is the medicine man.
Yes. The giant medicine man speaking to the giant king.
The giant king.
Yeah, African king.
Okay.
Advising him to stop being greedy and allow the men to marry and date and help introduced in nature.
So they are discussing
About the virus is going to come. He was telling
okay,
me.
so they know the virus is going to come.
What I'm saying,
Yeah.
it was spoken by the man to this man.
Okay.
He ended up marrying 7,500 wives.
Yeah.
Some of them doesn't remember them. They are in other villages. When a woman is in the cornfield, it is her privacy. No one should disturb her until he finishes connecting with the nature. So when the aliens came into this universe, they came in a human form, carrying a cross. Came into the cornfield. We have 3 crosses. We have the T cross. The one that says it belongs to Jesus Christ. That is the cross of the deaf in Africa. We associate that cross with the deaf people. Then we have an X cross, the one that we use as a symbol to vote in South Africa. That is the devil's cross. That is still being used in West Africa by the blacksmith to curse each other. Then you have our cross, the arm cross, the divine cross, the cross of life. So when the women saw the cross of the death, on the chest of the aliens, as they came in the human form, they immediately bowed down and submit to them. And say, children of the ancestors. Because of the ancestors are the dead ones. Because of they saw the cross. They thought they are here to bring information, to bring teaching. Unfortunately, they mated with them. When they mated, think that they're going to get a better knowledge, they left the palace. The king was told that there were visitors, but those visitors were in the cornfield with the wives. You know, the elders were not allowed to go there. You need to come and find out what was happening. When he came, Odias is going to mate. When he mates, he catches the virus. That is why the medicine man tells him that the virus that is having, it is beyond his powers. That's the virus that's going to swap the world by its storm.
So he's saying the African medicine man is saying that the medicine is the virus is beyond his powers.
Yes.
Like that he cannot really get rid of it.
Yes. In the next some years, the people of this earth will be infected. But most medicine, traditional doctors and modern doctors, they got to work together. That they will find the medication, but it won't kill, it will tame.
Yeah. And that's what Credo Mutwa was doing here too. He was taming people with HIV.
No, he came back in 1999, Credo Mutwa.
Yeah.
And said, if African shamans can be given the chance to fight against this virus through sound and African herbs, the likes of the Suza, Lendia, Alu, wild ganja, which is the lion's tail, lavender, and other herbs, definitely they can cure the virus in a system of a human being. The following day, the former minister of health, Manta Musimang, said whoever said can be able to help cure HIV and AIDS must be destroyed or arrested. Then Credo said, let me keep quiet. I'm not going to disturb that. If you Google and go to Credo Mutwa on HIV and AIDS, you'll see about the plant that I'm speaking about.
Yeah, I've seen it. Okay. So this was a prophecy too.
It was a prophecy too.
He predicted the HIV, creation of the HIV virus and spreading in Africa.
Yes, and other predictions.
Yeah. And the
That
sculpture.
only the king?
Yeah, that's the king.
That only the penis of the king.
That's the penis of the king.
Is to show all sexual
Okay.
transmitted infections.
Okay.
The likes of the cornflower, the drop.
So the king is kind of guilty in spreading the virus
Yeah, because he was so stubborn in the day.
because
He was so stubborn.
yeah.
He didn't want to do anything. Japan. Now what is happening now? He feels pity at the end of the day. He got to report.
So the king represents like the modern leader or the traditional leader who
The story works in many ways.
Yeah.
You can associate it as a traditional leader.
Yeah.
Because of that's where polygamy is.
Mm.
You can associate it as a modern one because of that's where the
But
mysteries is
definitely that somebody sold out so that the virus could come.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Patients of HIV and AIDS, when they see, okay, before, well, look at the penis. There are some viruses that created themselves into human face.
Yeah.
If you check clearly, that's not a human face. It's a symbol that we use to campaign for HIV and AIDS as the logo, which is the red ribbon. Patients of HIV and AIDS, when the CD4 count drops, what is happening? They lose the body, they become skinny, weak, the head becomes big. Look at the king. Look at the king. Submitting to the traditional there. He's carrying a calabash.
Yeah.
In that calabash, it's a concoction of African herbs that we are speaking about. Alu is the number one plant. That is why there are a lot of plants here. He said alu is the number one plant that's going to be used in fighting all the viruses or illnesses that come to this world. That is why sugar, diabetes, high blood, whatever. Back to aloe vera. And aloe forex. Let's do the creates. I mean the parts. Then come to the creates.
Yeah.
Here, Baba wanted to show that Africa was a Jurassic Park. The world says during the time of the dinosaurs, there were no human beings. We don't know.
Yeah.
We cannot say no.
Yeah.
We've never been there.
How would they know?
How would they know? And to say we've never been there, no.
It's just a guess.
It's a guess. But in Africa, our people lived with the wild animals, the dinosaurs. That is why we associate and connect with them. We are not bigger than them. We are part and parcel of them. So when the aliens, when the dinosaurs would attack the village, the villagers would go and hide themselves in the mountains and create the caves. In the mountains, when the wild animals of the mountains attacks the family in the caves, that is the mother. Her duty is to protect.
Yeah.
Can you see the child?
Okay, no, I don't see. Ah, yeah, the child is there. Yeah, I see.
And the father, his responsibility, it is not to harm it, but to scare it, away.
Okay.
If let's say saber-tooth tiger, it is my totem. We come from the very same star. If we start harming it or killing it, I'm going to harm it exactly the way he harmed it, going to kill him exactly the way he killed it. He has to destroy it and leave it away. In Africa, yes, they say we are the hunters. Yes, we are the hunters, but we are not barbaric. We have a season to hunt, a season to let everything mate.
Yeah, and for the hunters, I think they would connect with animals that they are killing in a different way.
What you do is, you don't just wake up and say, oh, I'm going to hunt. You first go to the elders. Ask permission. The elders will say to you, put yourself in that animal's skin and feel if it was you who was hunted, how were you going to feel? You are making telepathy. You connect with those animals, that animal that's going to hunt. When you hunt, you have to go hunt for the oldest, not the middle one, not the young one. Because of the oldest has left its purpose.
Yeah.
Then when you take it, you don't have to bring all the animal into the family. No. Just take what's going to be little enough for the family, the skin and the head, to show what type of animal, how old was the animal, and leave the rest for the other cannibal animals so that they can eat and produce. In Africa, once a wild animal has been killed in our land, some part of our knowledge goes to an oblivion with that animal because of we learn from them, we learn from the nature.
And when you said about the dinosaurs, because like you said, in modern science, it's just a guess that they are saying that there was no humans. How would they know anyway? But is it like oral tradition that has been passed on that says that there was people living with animals?
It's an oral tradition.
Yeah, and those has been going...
Even the stories that we tell, we find them from the stories that we tell. We speak about the likes of Mushanyana Sankatani, Tsilani, and the giant. Those are the stories that we were being told by our parents, our grandparents. Speaking about the connections of the wild animals, the dinosaurs, and the human beings.
And that was one of Credo Mutwa's role, to keep those stories going.
Definitely.
From generation.
Hence, I'm a knowledge keeper. A storyteller of the space.
So is Sanusi, would that be under the title Sanusi, or is that a different title for being
Sanusi title.
It's a different title.
Sanusi title.
Expands, Sanusi expands everything.
A person who keeps stories is different from a Sanusi. It's not everybody who will be created to become a lento, a keeper.
Ilendo.
No, I wanted to say this thing. Lento means this thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
To be the knowledge keeper.
Okay.
It's not everybody.
Yeah.
In the family. That's gonna be the one who's gonna be special.
Yeah.
To be that specially you are born to carry on the lineage of storytelling. They will tell you stories. Yes, they can tell stories amongst us, but you got to listen. There's going to be a special time whereby they only focus on you, because of in Africa we don't write.
So that was one of Credo Mutwa's initiations, alongside with the Sangoma initiation.
Yeah, because of his grandfather, Zico. Was a traditional healer for Tingani. At the same time, he was a knowledge keeper and a storyteller of the Shezi clan.
Shezi?
Yes.
That's a Zulu clan?
Yes.
Okay.
Shezi is the surname of Unomapunu. No, Zico is the surname. Shezi is the name of the grandfather.
Okay.
Of Credo Mutwa.
Yeah.
Shezi is the father of Unomapunu, the mother of Credo Mutwa.
Okay.
His shaman role comes from the mother's side, the Shezi family, not the Mutwa family. The Mutwa is the father's side, which is those are the missionaries. They denounced African way of life and became really 100% missionaries.
Okay.
They don't fear anything else to do with tradition. And it was a problem because of Unomapunu was tribal. Strictly tribal. Ellen, the father, was strictly Christian. Both families had a problem. That is why they wouldn't marry. When Unomapunu was pregnant, Ellen, the father, and his father got the job because he was a builder to come to work in Johannesburg. He left Unomapunu being pregnant, and then being pregnant out of a wedding, it's a curse in African culture. The child became a bastard because he was born out of marriage. The Zico was so hurt to her daughter, Unomapunu, whereby when Credo was 7, his uncle came. He was working in KwaZulu-Natal. Then he was told that his brother has a son, a child. When you go and see Credo Mutwa, Zico told the uncle of Credo to take Credo and live with him. Because he cannot raise a bastard child. He left and came and stayed with the family, with the father. The stepmother hated Credo Mutwa like nobody's business. Until Credo Mutwa get sick, illnesses, whereby they tried all these doctors, all these ways of healing, but nothing helped him until her aunt came paying a visit when they heard that the child is sick. When he realized that Credo Mutwa has the power, something that is special, that he's supposed to be a traditional healer. That is when he was taken from the father, went to the mother's side. Zico was so angry again, fighting with the sister, say, how come you take this boy here back here? Because I don't know this boy. That the child is the child, doesn't know anything. What happened has happened. You see, the child has a calling. Let's help the child. He was initiated by his aunt, but for him to be more as a storyteller, he was groomed by the father, by the grandfather, Zico. So everything that Credo Mutwa is comes from the Shezi side.
So he was initiated by his aunt as a Sangoma?
Yes.
And as a storyteller from his grandfather? Yes. And did he have more initiation? Sanusi came later because of his...
from there. When he started getting better, it was like how all these people were saying African way of life, Sangoma, it's a witch, it's a negative thing, it's terrible things. But they failed to help me. These people are the ones who helped me. No, that is when he denounced Christianity and became a traditionalist. Then, the first time he traveled with the very same missionary, trying to gain knowledge according to the African way, visiting other traditional healers, doing other initiations, meeting other people until he get a chance to be initiated as a Sanusi.
And that is when he went to places like Mozambique.
He went to Mozambique,
all over.
Zimbabwe,
Congo,
Namibia. He traveled nearly, I would say, they discovered Africa.
Yeah.
That we're speaking about.
Yeah, the colonial borders.
Yeah, the colonial ones. Yeah, I would say 85 to 90% of the colonial African diaspora he has traveled in.
Yeah.
Even traveled the world.
And he received different initiations too.
Yeah, different initiations.
Yeah.
Different gifts, different powers from them.
Yeah. So traveling around, that's something they did. I mean, when we talk about ancient Kemetic culture too, like the pharaohs, the kings would also travel around to different places where they would receive different powers. Very interesting.
So to become a Sanusi, you got to travel. To become a traditional healer, you got to humble yourself. Yeah. You gotta be a chameleon.
Okay, so a Sangoma can just stay around, like let's say in Soweto.
Yeah, the Sangoma
can
stay in Soweto. Your responsibility is to heal, initiate, fix other certain things. Inyanga, it's an African herbalist, African doctor that deals only with the herb. He doesn't initiate, he doesn't even use the bones. Isanusi, the shaman, he is the biggest of them all. Because of that one, doesn't only focus only on the human side only. He focuses on the universe. He can tell about what's going to happen in Timbuktu whilst here in South Africa. You got to see beyond.
So a Sanusi has to travel.
Yes, has to travel.
To get this power from different
get the powers,
places.
Understand how other healers are working, so that he can acknowledge that knowledge, to absorb that knowledge and powers, and start using that in the positive.
But for a Sangoma, it's more about being able to receive certain spirits and be the medium, you know.
Yeah, to become a medium.
Yeah, that's what.
But the lento, the Sanusi is the typical one.
Okay, thanks.
Just to look at that. And this is to show how Africans used to pay its people before the modern way.
This one.
Yeah, in Africa a long time ago, when we respected the nature, living a positive life, protecting the nature, when you die, you will be honored by seated up straight,
Yeah, seated.
face the east, and the left is the cowskin, and they will bury you in a round shape, representing the womb, so that your spirit can circulate around, waiting for a newborn baby to be born, and that spirit will jump into the child and will be replaced spiritually. That's our African incarnation. And this is when they finish closing that grave.
And this is cow skin that
that's cow
is
skin.
buried in.
Yes.
Okay.
When you do evil things, as a bad person, when you die or be killed, they will bury you upside down. They won't close the grave so that the vultures and the dogs can eat the flesh. Why the culprits are buried like that? They are evil. They cannot reincarnate. They got to go with the evilness.
If you bury it upside down like that.
You are evil. You're supposed to come. And what they will do, they will cut some part of your body so that the ancestors cannot acknowledge you, so that they cannot see you. They cannot recognize you.
I heard that in some places like Senegal, they do that to women who choose not to have babies.
It's part of Christendom.
It's like you are blocking the ancestors from coming
from
back.
Them, from connecting them, from accepting them when they pass on. The spirit will be just floating around, knowing where. It's going to be like a...
looking for a gate to go through.
A hopeless spirit.
Yeah. And how do you trace reincarnation to find out who is coming back? Who does that? Can a Sangoma do that?
No. It's a natural thing. It's a natural thing. And then, that is why it's not easy to be, as an African child. You can stay for a year without a name.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Because they don't know who ancestor.
Yeah, they will always check.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes, if a situation has happened in that day, then they will name you after that situation.
Okay. So you will not get your name before they have found out.
Yes.
What
that is why when you do
back.
a certain thing, they will tell you, hey, my brother, Lebo, you remind us of your uncle. Exactly the way you talk, the way you move, whatever you do, it's exactly like your uncle. That says the spirit came through me. Remember, it's one spirit that comes with different dimensions. So when the Western people came, they introduced this way of burying people. We started to bury like this.
Yeah.
Now, in the modern way, we find the cross, the name, the surname, the year you born, and passed on. We still place the calabash to pour African beer to connect with the spirits. We still write RIP, just like the white, which stands for
rest in peace.
We say return if possible.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anything else? No, check my numbers.
Yeah, I have to take